Hey guys, right, today I'm gonna talk about something pretty serious. I'm gonna talk about anxiety. Now, aside on what anxiety is and like what panic attacks are and stuff. Even if you don't suffer from anxiety, still carry on watching this video because if you don't understand what it is and stuff, I think it could actually help you, and it could actually help you educate yourself and help other people who might even be your friends. Okay, what anxiety is it's basically a feeling that everyone has. So like, for example, if you're like scared for like a test or something, that is completely normal to be scared for a test. Or if you are scared for some big event that's going to happen, or you just feel nervous or sort of tense about something, then we all get that, don't we? We all get that feeling. We all feel scared at some point in our lives. So that's like short-term anxiety. But when these feelings begin to overwhelm you, and you feel like it's taken over your life and taking control of you, that's when it becomes a problem and you can develop an anxiety disorder. There are many different anxiety disorders that you probably have heard of but you don't really know what they actually are. You maybe know bits about it. So types of anxiety are phobias. So phobias can be of spiders, heights, flights, crowded places, sharp objects, like I'm scared of needles, and like, oh my gosh, I don't like needles. Next type of anxiety disorder is generalized anxiety disorder, GAD. And this is basically if you felt anxious for a long time and you're like, you don't have to particularly be anxious about anything, but you're just anxious, I guess. The next anxiety disorder is OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. And this is when you have obsessive thoughts and compulsive behavior. Now, there is a stereotype about OCD that it's just about sort of things need to be clean and germs and stuff. Like, that's not just OCD. OCD is when you have like obsessive thoughts and compulsive behavior about it can be anything or anyone. Like, another one is panic disorder, which I have a bit of experience with, and this is when you could you have a lot of panic attacks, and they could be for no reason, like, at all. You could like feel out of control, like you're going mad, and yeah, like, panic attacks are like a terrible thing that you go through. So now that we've gone through some of the type, there's loads of Mind website, pamphlet, and anxiety. I think we need to talk about what a panic attack is and things like that. So this little booklet is one that my counsellor gave me, and they've got like good definitions, so I'll read out what a panic attack is. A panic attack is an exaggeration of the body's normal response to fear, stress, or excitement. I do not agree with the excitement thing, because I feel panic attacks aren't exciting at all. That was just a wrong choice of word, I think. When faced with a situation seen as potentially threatening, the body automatically gears itself up for danger by producing quantities of adrenaline for fight or flight. This would have prepared so that's their definition of a panic attack. So called depersonalization and derealization, which is people feel, I don't experience this, but some people feel like detached from their body, and like their surroundings feel strange and unreal and things like that. So, now that I've sort of given you the definitions of anxiety, panic attacks, and given you like different types of disorders, I'm going to talk about my own experience. When I was, I think, in year 5, I was lying down on my couch, sort of felt this like feeling like in my chest, and like then I started sort of heavy breathing sort of, and it was really, really scary, and like I honestly thought that I was like gonna die or something. So I told my sister that I think, yeah, I was home alone with my sister, and like I told her that I couldn't breathe and I felt really weird, and she called my parents, and my parents came back from shopping. It was really long and it was really, really scary, and I knew nothing back then, so it was really scary, and I sort of brushed it away, yeah, until secondary school. And I think with secondary school, I think it's just the stress that comes from like socializing with people, new situations, increase work, and like my first few years of secondary school were not the best. It eventually got really bad, and one day in my PE class, my PE teacher yelled at me in front of everybody else, and like she told me to leave the classroom, so because she told me I wasn't following what they were doing, so she started shouting at me in front of everyone. And she told me to leave the classroom. Then I just started having a panic attack, and she came out and talked to me, and she was like, okay, you're having a panic attack, and explaining it to me, and I was like, yeah, I know, but remember, since year 5 I just brushed it away, so I hardly knew anything. So she told me, oh, do you want me to like call your parents or something like that? And I was like, no, I'm fine. So I sort of just like, and I got taken to my pastoral care person at my school, and we just had like a chat about it. She called my mum. Yeah, my mum booked an appointment with the GPs. Went to the GPs later by myself, I think 2 weeks later or something, and I just told her what was up. It was really hard because I never really opened up to anyone about it, like to like a senior sort of person. I was diagnosed with panic disorder, and then I got sent to this of young people mental health working place where I was like therapist and stuff. So I went there for a couple of sessions, and I did not find that it really helped me, so I stopped going to sessions. And while I was going to these sessions, I was seeing this woman in school, a counsellor in school, who I still see to this day, and she's really not, like, she's amazing. Been released from that place, and I'm going for my next GP appointment because I've got referred from the place I left back to the GPs. So I've got my next appointment in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to talk about where I'm going from, and then I had a meeting with like one of the senior teachers in my school, and she told me that I should start seeing this CAMHS worker that works within the school. If you don't know what CAMHS is, it's Children Adolescent Mental Health Services. So I have like my first meeting with my normal counsellor and the CAMHS worker first week I go back. So I've got that to go to. So from then on, I think they're going to send me to CAMHS. And then here I am today, and that's all that's really happened in my treatment. And I think I'll get there in the end, but like right now I have a lot of anxiety and stuff. So yeah, that's sort of my anxiety story up to date. That's what the company's called. It's called Mind, and like this booklet is how to cope with panic attacks, and my counsellor gave it to me to like look at. But you can also find all this information on the Mind website, which I'll also link below. Actually, before I go on to talk about the treatments, I'm going to talk about the causes, because some of you because even me, all the possible causes of anxiety. Okay, so it can be unstable blood sugar levels. It can be you breathe out more carbon dioxide than normal, which can bring on panic symptoms. Taking antidepressants, particularly the new ones, may produce panic attacks. So if you suffer from a condition that's required for antidepressants, some antidepressants have been researched that they can actually produce panic attacks. So check if you are prescribed on antidepressants and have like panic attacks. I think you should check with whoever gives your medication, whether it's the doctor or your psychiatrist or psychologist or whoever gives your medication. Make sure you check with them to ask be sure of the side effects of your medication. Some prescription medication, including amphetamine, steroids, anti-asthma drugs, even nasal decoms, blah blah blah, have reported to increase anxiety. I think I'm gonna have to check that, because when I was younger, I used to have really, really bad hay fever. Not so much anymore, but I used to take a lot of anti-allergy medications, and apparently that can increase anxiety, so I'm gonna have to go check that with my doctor about it. Sometimes problems with the way the brain works will cause balance, coordination, and visual difficulties that make people very vulnerable to stress and may contribute to agoraphobia. So they are some of the causes of anxiety. Right, so now I'm going to move on to treatments, the professional treatments. So with panic attacks, if panic attacks and anxiety, if you're affected by any of these, okay, there's psychotherapy. So psychotherapy, it sort of digs from your past difficulty, works with how your present reactions are linked to what happened in the past. There's cognitive behavior therapy, CBT. I'm doing this at the moment, actually. So which is basically, there's a long definition, but I'm just going to explain it myself because I think it's more simpler. They basically, because when you have anxiety, you're most probably thinking negatively, and they try to change the way that you're thinking. So there's also drug therapy, so basically antidepressants. Again, check with whoever's supplying you with any drugs, and also with everything about it. Do a lot of research, ask people who have used antidepressants. I haven't. I think that is I've covered quite a bit. One last piece of advice I'd give to people who don't have anxiety is, if you see someone having a panic attack, so look at all those symptoms, listen to all those symptoms again that I said. I'll put them down below so you remember. If you see anyone in public having one, go up to them and ask them if you can help them in any way, offer them a tissue, ask for their consent before touching them, because some people do not like to be touched. Ask if you can touch them in a sort of way that just ask if you can, and if you, because especially if it's in public, it is the worst. It's happened to me many, many times. It's happened to me on a train, buses, and it happened the other week actually on a bus. Don't ignore it, because the worst thing is being alone or while having that. Yeah. So guys, I hope you've learned something from this video, or you've been encouraged to do something and